Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and I am here with Playtonic members Mark and Andy, and we are here to discuss what else? It's Yooka-Laylee, as you can see up on the screen here. It's coming out. When's it coming out? Because that's what people are going to want to know first, because there has been a bit of a change of plan, but not a big one.
Yeah, we're now aiming for Q1 2017, and that's basically so we can spend as much time as possible polishing the game.
I think that's fair enough because, you know, sort of obviously you've got a reputation, you know, sort of as being rare expats, if you like, of producing very high quality, very polished games, and you want to maintain that, I'm sure.
Well, we want to create a reputation as Playtonic for releasing polished games that are complete, and hopefully all of our backers and all of our fans are delighted when the game's in their hands.
Yes, well, I've seen only a bit of it, you know, just sort of the first level and a little bit of the overworld, and I have to say at the moment it's looking extremely, extremely pretty. And I mean, even back in the N64 days with games like Banjo-Kazooie and things like that, it was always about making games very pretty. Was that a significant driving force, or was that, you know, sort of more of a backburner, you're focusing more on the mechanics?
I mean, I think we've always been known for doing like graphical tour de forces and doing the best we can with the technology, so I think it's just a natural part of our DNA.
Yes, and of the initial overworld that I saw, you've got the new villain, of course. You've got Capital B, which I did notice with the plotline there was some sort of some subtle hint towards Microsoft, or is that just me reading too much into things?
That's definitely you reading too much into things. It's the simple answer. No, that's not our aim at all. And I'd highlight as well that the story that is out there that you've seen and the public has seen is only a sliver of what we've created. We're trying to create a whole universe of characters with this game that can kind of live on in future Playtonic games and different genres of game. And what you've seen today is only a small part of a very big story that we've planned, you know, beyond just the opening.
And another thing that you were talking about when I was looking at the game was the worlds are not static in the same way as before, are they? They're expandable. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a part of our drive to offer player choice more. You'll be able to collect pages, which are your currency for opening levels, and if you choose, you can go up, open the next level, or you can go back to a previous level and expand that in some way. That'll introduce more challenges for you to carry on playing in that world, really.
And there's another element as well that sort of, again, in a way sort of expands, but more with the gameplay rather than the actual worlds themselves. And that's the new tonics, isn't it? So which one of you wants to tell me about them?
I'll tell you about the tonics. So they're kind of another way we're trying to bring a bit of gameplay, player choice into the game and bring the genre a bit more up to date. And basically, they're gameplay modifiers that players can choose to unlock and equip, which to kind of empower their style of play. So, for example, if they like to use a particular move, there will be a tonic that will allow them to use that for a bit longer, and it will drain a little bit less power from the new power meter we have in the game. And the really fun and interesting thing about the tonics is how they're unlocked. They're kind of almost mini objectives to themselves, and they'll require you to complete missions, say for example, defeating a certain number of enemies or beating the high score in some of Rextro's arcade games in order to unlock them. So in that sense, they're almost like a side mission for players to chase after, as well as all of the collectibles and everything else.
Similar in some ways to things like the achievements and the trophies from the from the PlayStation, the Xbox, and things like that. Yeah. And you were mentioning about how all these things like you can make it so that your power meter drains slower, or you get additional health and things like that. But are there any of these tonics that make things more difficult for the people who really want to test themselves?
I'm not sure we've worked out the full final list yet, or even if we are ready to reveal it. TBC is the easy answer for that one.
That's good to hear. At least that gives us a little bit of hope at the very least. But anyway, yes. So you've got the initial world which we've looked at, and it's very lush and very green. And obviously there are an awful lot of collectibles as usual, but not as many as there were before. And that was quite a conscious decision, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, we're trying to streamline the process of collectibles. We want every collectible to have a point, in terms of how you progress through the game. We don't want you to be collecting just for the sake of collecting. So, as an example, the quills that you collect they're like the currency that will allow you to buy different moves that then will allow you to compete in different challenges, open up new areas. The same thing as well with the health. We've introduced a power bar that depletes as you use certain special moves. There's butterflies around the world. You can either eat those to regain health, or you can actually collect them to regain power.
We're trying to recreate some of the best of kind of collectathons that people love, and also avoid some of the things they don't like about them, like the occasional tedium of resource management. And by balancing our collectibles in this way and ensuring that they're all really meaningful to how the game works, we hope to avoid some of that occasional frustration of having to manage tons of different collectibles.
Speaking of collectathons, obviously one of the main inspirations is obviously Banjo-Kazooie, which is probably my favourite game, to be honest, of all time, because it's absolutely wonderful. But I also noticed there were also inspirations, certainly visually, from things like Donkey Kong 64, especially, and things like that. So it's not just, going off the back of the one, sort of Banjo series, is it?
Absolutely not. I mean, a lot of the team worked on quite a few different games, including the Donkey Kong series, as well as the Banjo series. So we draw our inspiration from all over, really. Yeah, the best of everything.
The best of everything, that's what we like to hear. Well, thank you so much, guys. It's looking absolutely wonderful, and I'm really excited to be able to get my teeth really sink it into the game and really get a feel for what Yooka-Laylee's all about.
We can't wait to put it in people's hands, and hopefully everyone's really satisfied once the final product's out there.
I'm sure they will be. I know I will be, because, well, I've just seen a glimpse of it, and already I'm extremely excited. But thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you stick your tongue out and grab that subscribe button, and be sure to check out nintendolife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.